Yeah, xQc needs to look in, man.
Just hours ago, yet another deep-thinking large language model hit the timeline, crushing existing benchmarks and reaching the coveted #1 spot on the LM Arena leaderboard. This new model is none other than Elon's based
never ever going to play
Bonk
the Real Arrows,
but it's also mostly uncensored and will generate content that's illegal in many parts of the world. It has a deep thinking mode like DeepSeek R1. It can apparently do text to video, and in the near future will have a paid subscription for something even more powerful called Super Grok. I'm already paying for Twitter Premium Plus just to access Grok 3, so that's a slap in the face. But in today's video, we'll find out what makes Grok special, how they trained it, and if it truly is the best LLM in the world. It is February 18th, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. Last week, Elon attempted to troll OpenAI by offering to buy it out. Not surprisingly, the OpenAI board promptly rejected this offer, and Sam Altman is still on track to make it for profit and get his big payday. The AI Game of Thrones is ruthless, and Mark Zuckerberg, one of the big players vying for the—
Dude, it's actually kind of funny how relentless Elon is trying to get so he doesn't get a payday. This guy's making it his life mission so this guy doesn't become rich.
The throne took a big loss last week when it was revealed that he signed off on using 82 terabytes of pirated books to train their llama models, which he obtained through the Library Genesis project, which contains millions of books and paywalled articles. I just can't believe Zuckerbucks would do something like that, though, said nobody ever. When it comes to training AI models, which he revealed that he signed off on using 82 terabytes of pirated books to train their llama models, which he obtained through the Library Genesis project, which contains millions of books and articles.
Dude.
I just can't.
I don't blame him, chat. I don't blame him.
Right.
I think
1,000-page book you find on the internet and
go past the laws ASAP before the laws get in place.
That's next to your classroom.
Nobody else that train their model
that way, right?
won't be able. The
you get it for free,
to train their models is gonna be nearly
and you get to waste the resources of a piece of shit college you're going to.
Was laws taking effect about DMCA and whatever? These guys are products that are already fully fledged,
then
and maybe impossible to decode
pick up
what
your
the fucking
cup
thing is modeling with,
and
right? Like,
you don't go to
can't believe
the
Zuckerbucks would do something like that, though, said nobody ever. When it comes to training AI, though, one thing that's special about Grok is that it's the only model that has direct access to employer-hosted data from Twitter, and XAI developers have optimized this model for maximum truth-seeking, even if that comes at the expense of being politically correct. And that means you can use it to do things like generate images of celebrities or have it write a family poem about racial stereotypes. In the name of science, I tried this prompt on every L.
You deserve that, man. You already pay $5,000 a month for the
and it was blocked on every single one of them except for Grok. The response it gave me is so offensive that I can't even show it here on YouTube. And if you posted something like this in a country that doesn't have the right to free speech, you could quite literally go to jail. Despite that, Grok 3 should be available in countries like Germany and the UK soon. That's a—
Chat, me when I lose a game of Rebels.
I mean, if this ever goes live in Germany,
come up with the most offensive and racially charged insult in all of mankind. Copy paste.
Huge win if you're a professional internet troll, but how good is Grok in reality? Well, currently it's sitting on top of LM Arena, which is basically a blind taste test where humans compare different LLMs side by side, and reaching the top means that it's pretty dang good. In addition, we have another benchmark showing Grok beating Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, and GPT-4 when it comes to math, science, and coding. However, conveniently, it's missing OpenAI 03, and when you add that model in, it paints a much different picture. It's also missing the Code Forces and Arc AGI benchmarks, and benchmarks are almost always cherry-picked for obvious reasons.
Chat, I wish
Arc AGI benchmarks and benchmarks are
Chat, I wish there was a standardized thing. Guys, is there a third party that tests everything equally? Because it's like GPU, CPU benchmarks. AMD says that when they run the thing, it revolutionizes mankind. Fucking Nvidia does the same thing, but it makes a new reality. It's like, bro, like, what are you guys even working with?
Cherry-picked for obvious
reasons. I use this shit, my computer crashes.
Like, what is my own proprietary vibe check, and it did things like generate valid Svelte 5 code in one shot and help me build a game in Godot. Overall, it did a great job and appears to be plateauing at the same level as all the other state-of-the-art models. Recently,
they make
the
it
AI
seem like they're
from
competing.
creating better base models to creating better prompting frameworks like
you
research and big
brain
mode. Another interesting detail about Grok, though, is that they provided details on how it was actually trained at the Colossus supercomputer in Memphis, Tennessee, which is currently believed to be the world's largest AI supercomputer.
All these
it contains
companies,
a cluster of over 200,000
government and all that,
NVIDIA H100 GPUs,
right, I've seen some of these
with plans to expand to 1 million
that.
GPUs. The facility uses so much electricity that they can't get it all from the grid, and brought in a bunch of portable diesel generators just to power the thing, and they're going to need all that power
for them. Diesel?
You're getting none of that then.
They're powering diesel gens.
Portable diesel generators just to power the thing. And they're going to need all that power when Super Grok comes out, which is...
Chat, unironically, chat, couldn't this push for nuclear to stop the stigma around nuclear and people use more nuclear? I mean, technically, we're about to need so much power with all this fucking dumb shit coming up that people are going to start doing their own fucking nuclear reactors and shit. And I think they should, yeah.
Expected to cost $30 per month, which would be a highly competitive price compared to ChatGPT Pro at $200 per month.
It's just like drugs or certain chemicals. If you buy too much of it, you can buy small doses. But if you buy too much of it,
why don't you have
you're
your
gonna
own
get the
nuclear
fucking
reactor in your own
DEA.
neighborhood? Elon Musk is gonna make the same thing as he's doing it for the satellite, Starlink.
But you're not gonna
nuclear link.
You can buy 50 gallons of
together, and
various chemicals that you use to make meth.
I'm already going broke paying for Claude, Cursor, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot,
they're looking into that.
Next, but for some reason, my code
the same thing if you buy fucking plutonium.
To learn how to code is to start from the ground up, and you can do that today
grams
for free
of
thanks to this
plutonium.
video sponsor, Brilliant. Their platform provides
you can't even
interactive,
get
hands-on
that from
learning magic technology. I'd recommend starting with Python instead of ChatGPT. Try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for 30 days by going to brilliant.org/fireship or use the QR code on screen.
Shit.
This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching.
Why is it the Elon is the future of energy? Yeah,
because what you learn there is
and yeah, actually kind of whenever
it's primary school.
This is my current take. Okay,
you learn the physics.
When he wants to do some shit, he kind of just does it.
You learn about
everybody else
sine
do a bunch
waves.
of fucking charades.
Primary
Takes
school.
forever. The guy does put his money to action
like
pretty
Pythagoras.
quick. His turnover, whatever rate,
unit circle.
It's
primary
pretty quick.
School, man.
Let's be honest.
Right.
Let's be honest. People had these fucking GPU
school,
farms way back. People had those whatever.
I know there's kids watching
really
and
quickly,
whatnot, man.
and it's already doing shit. Don't act like other billionaires don't have the funding and the money to do that.
Most of the people that watch you are above 8 years old.
The only who can do that.
They're not,
bruh.
They're not going to become brilliant from brilliant.
I didn't say he does it by himself. He could be doing nothing and still funding it, and it's still more efficient than most of these fucking other people that are doing shit. Like what?
Real.
Funnily enough, chat, yeah, some of the schizo researchers, whatever, that we saw on the Joe Rogan thing, they actually thought that some people weren't saying something to the people that were working, whatever. They were actually chanting something at a certain frequency of talking and inducing some vibrations that would lift and move the pieces around.
You gotta transcend your mind. You gotta get in a higher vibration level.
Using their mouth, and they were doing a chant that was vibrating the blocks around them. I'm not kidding.
It's these electromagnetic waves. My mind doesn't work anymore because of this. Okay?
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's these guys' theory. Yeah. But again, I mean, lots of the theory is like based on like drugs and shit, so it's kind of tough.
Just issued a super secret technical capability
researchers
Apple,
on
which makes
Joe
a
Rogan,
demand for the creation
they
of
have never set
to
foot
access users'
in Egypt.
encrypted iCloud
They've
data
probably never
globally.
been
The Crown
west
wants to drink
or
your apple
east
juice, and it not only affects the red
of
codes,
the United
but literally
States. They've
everyone
never
in the
left the
world who
country.
can afford to be an Apple customer. And it's a shot over the bow for those who use end-to-end encryption
And I think
apps
they
like
have
Telegram, Signal,
Oh
WhatsApp.
no! Stop
They
that.
Has the right to blanket
They
access
just
to
had a
everyone's private
connection
data
made by
globally, thanks to
sending to a higher
look at my
vibration
stuff.
level.
2016, which grants 00 agents at MI5 and MI6 God mode hacking capabilities, and forces internet service providers to retain a record of all the websites you visit, with many other mass surveillance powers. What's even more crazy, though, is that it's illegal for Apple to even disclose or talk about this demand, and that means it must have leaked to the media through some kind of whistleblower. In today's video, we'll find out what it all means for iCloud users, the amazing technology behind end-to-end encryption, and how to prevent James Bond from getting hold of your private.
The goon phones have been off the internet for a long time. They're not connecting
data. It is February 7th, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. Nobody but Apple knows how much data is stored in iCloud, but it's easily into the exabyte scale. Most of this data is stored with regular encryption, where it's encrypted in transit when you upload it, and then encrypted at rest on the server, with the private keys to decrypt it stored in an Apple data center. The government's all good with that, because in theory they could break down Apple stores with muskets and force them to give up the private keys to access your data. But in 2022, Apple started offering a new service called Advanced Data Protection that the government doesn't like.
Right, I mean,
it uses
Facebook gets to see that,
where the key difference is that you manage the keys, which means that not even Apple can access your data at musket point. That's great if you care about privacy as an end user, but the one drawback is that if you lose your key, you could also lose your data. But end-to-end encryption is nothing new.
I don't mind sharing
or pretty good privacy was developed back in 1991 and has been used to keep emails private. But more recently, messaging apps like Signal and WhatsApp use a double ratchet algorithm where you have a root key ratchet that generates new key pairs for each message, and then a sending receiving chain ratchet that derives message keys, which not only provides end-to-end encryption, but also guarantees that a compromised key can't decrypt past or future messages. That provides forward secrecy, and the surveillance state hates it. Until quantum computers break silicon encryption, there's not much the government can do to get access to your data unless you slip up and make a mistake, or they ban technology like this outright. And the UK is going with the latter approach. But the big question is, will Apple actually cave to the pressure? There's plenty of reasons to hate on Apple, but compared to other big tech companies...
I agree. Okay, people say sauce this and not true and cap. Guys, they do really good with data, and they treat the data pretty good. And as far as I know, there hasn't been a lot of break-ins in terms of like hijacking information and using low-level employees to get to gain access.
Like Meta, they've done a much better job protecting user data. Like in 2016, even after the mass shooting in San Bernardino, Apple refused to comply with the Department of Justice to unlock his phone. The FBI wanted them to build an iOS backdoor, to which they refused, but the FBI eventually paid a third party over $1 million to hack into it. In any case, it's highly unlikely that Apple will just comply with this technical capability notice. What seems most likely is that they'll reach some kind of compromise where Apple discontinues advanced data protection to residents of the People's Republic of the UK. Now, if you truly care about privacy and believe it's a fundamental human right and are totally not doing illegal stuff, there's a few things you should do. One, make sure to use end-to-end encryption for all your communications using apps like Signal, and also make sure to use full disk encryption on your hard drive. You'll want to use a trusted VPN with a strict no logs policy, and you should only browse the internet with the Tor browser over the Onion network, which will anonymize your traffic with your ISP, which in the UK is legally required to track which websites you visit. Although the ISP can see that you use Tor, which might put you on some kind of MI5 watch.
Nobody's doing all that. Okay, and on top of that, if you use Tor, okay, let's be honest, you're fucking 10 seconds per page delay.
And whenever possible, do this with an operating system that has amnesia, like Tails OS, which runs off a USB and wipes everything from memory, which will prevent authorities from doing a cold boot attack after they bust in your door. Privacy is a beautiful thing, and it's all made possible through the magic of math and computer science. And you can start mastering both of these concepts for free today thanks to this video's sponsor, Brilliant. In my opinion,
I enjoyed the video. That was pretty good.